Welcome to Real Cold Vape Reviews, where I tell you what you need to know with no BS added. My name is Izzy, and today we're taking a look at a small atomizer that had a lot of potential. This is the Bullet Mini. The original Bullet was a step in the right direction to add something new to atomizers, with the interchangeable peak disc system that added spitback protection, a heatsink, and a so-called Typhoon airflow system. That added onto an already cool design with a built-in wide-bore tip, tri-post design, and adjustable airflow similar to the Royal Hunter. The Bullet Mini slightly improves on this design, with a low-profile size, Delrin or glass ultra-wide-bore tip, actual Typhoon airflow system, with the under the coil, above the coil, and directly hitting the coil airflow, and a two-post build deck. What? This review is sponsored by evcigarettes.com. On their site, the Bullet Mini is on sale for $22 for an authentic atomizer, albeit not made in the USA, but nonetheless authentic. This price point is well earned by the Bullet Mini's features. The Minis come in black, stainless steel, matte white, and a matte pastel pink that I wouldn't even mind using. In the box is the atomizer, the Delrin tip, and two Delrin adapters that screw into the atomizer. One enables you to add an even wider glass tip, and one is just a 510 tip adapter. Really cool way to implement these adapters though. There's some threads on the inside that you screw the adapters into. The coating holds up well, and I don't see any blemishes on mine throughout my entire time of testing it. The look of the Bullet Mini looks that of, well, a mini Bullet. It isn't exactly the most eye-appealing though. Using a peak insulator as the entire bottom section to prevent your mod from heating up from use. Great practically, but that beige doesn't match particularly well with anything really. On the upper area is the Bullet Mini logo on each side, with some tiny info markings on the bottom area. The barrel itself is littered with air holes, 9 on each side, and one more adjacent. Well, we'll get to those. It's not exactly the miniest, but it's pretty small, pairing perfectly with any small mod. The white Delrin tip is the most comfortable ultra-widebore tip I've ever used. That tip also has built-in spitback protection. It's too bad I lost it. The tip's O-rings just couldn't keep it in place and it fell off as I was walking to work. And that's really one huge fault with this thing. The area the O-rings are holding onto, and the O-rings themselves are ripping and just making taking off the cap on and off a pain in the ass. I went through 2 of the spares already because the barrel just kept ripping the O-rings to shreds. Now I use a super wide glass tip that doesn't offer any spitback protection, but I haven't really experienced any spitback. Oh, one more thing. Because the Delrin tip had drilled holes in it for spitback protection, I'm not sure if it was because of the positive pressure from me inhaling, but I would occasionally end up with juice in my mouth. The only thing I didn't like about that tip. On the bottom is the 510 with the stainless steel negative threads and a slightly protruding copper positive. Standard stuff. On the inside is the questionable build deck. 2 posts. Why? There is a reason we went from 2 posts to 3 posts. Reminds you of the first RDAs like the iGo L. Boy, those were not the days. I'm not saying the 2 posts are terrible, I just prefer 3 posts. Like I said, 2 posts, a positive on one side and a milled in negative on the other, which makes building slightly harder because usually you just wrap 2 exactly similar coils. Now you have to wrap one coil that mirrors the other, because the positive is on the right side for one and the left for the other. The posts do have wide post slots, and the negative is milled into the deck. It's easy enough to build on this, but just tough enough that I do not want to swap builds unless I really need to. No problems with the screws undoing themselves. The drip well is pretty deep, with the slanted technically below the coil airflow inhibits the well a bit, but it's a decent size still. Airflow on this is wild. You get 3 slanted technically below the coil air holes that help with flavor, 3 holes that hit the coil straight on, and 3 air holes a little above. This and 1 air hole on the corner perpendicular to the other holes create a vortex effect, like the Mutation X before it. Now that corner air hole does change how you wick. Usually you just tuck each end in, but for the end with the air hole, I just tuck the end into the middle, and the entire middle is empty. This makes dripping straight into the tip more effective. This is all adjustable, but the shoddy O-rings make it quite hard to do on the fly. All this airflow does make for a dense, cloudy vape. Not as dense as certain atomizers like the Mutation X V4, and you would expect flavor to be stellar with the small design, but that just wasn't the case. Flavor wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't as good as, let's say, the Vulcan or the Mutation X V4. Overall, the Bullet Mini is a wild little atomizer, with so many airflow options, an awesome drip tip, and a very inexpensive price. But with the okay flavor, unintuitive build deck, and terrible O-rings, the Bullet Mini gets a 2.8 out of 5. Once again, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more. My name is Izzy, and this was your real quick vape review. I'll see you guys next time. Shoots. If you like the video, share it with a friend. If you haven't already, go check out the site realquick.media. And if you have time, come check out our stream, twitch.tv/duo_Q. We usually stream about 10 p.m. PST, 10:30 maybe. Depends on what time we eat dinner. Maybe 9, usually 10. Just come check it out around 10 p.m. Next time, we do the Sigelei 150 watt TC.
TC 150 watt?
Next time we do the Sigelei TC 150.